So we talked a little bit about how to enable the partners. What about managing it internally? You know, Richard, I hear this all the time as a really big challenge. And you know, the reason that I hear it so much is because we talk to such a diverse group, right? And I'm sure you do too. You know, we have clients that maybe are 95% channel and you know, 60% cloud, and then you talk to a large vendor who is 70% direct, 30% channel, and 10% cloud. And so managing internally is going to be different. I think there's a lot of steps as we go through these steps. I think they're applicable to all, but I think the degree is really going to vary based on you know, who the organization is.
Yeah, and I think this is where we've seen a fundamental shift. I mean, when the cloud first came out, I would say that a lot of internal executives, they were like, "Ooh, good, this is a way that we can finally cut the partners out and, win all this business direct. We'll just, sell to everybody through the cloud." And what we're seeing is becoming really interesting in that what we're seeing is that, a number of very strong channel plays are now taking place in the cloud space, and that, many of these vendors are realizing that no, you still need the leverage that you get through partners. It's just a different type of leverage that you're getting through these partners.
Yeah, I totally agree, Richard, and I think this is where you know, you have to start at the top. We're going to talk about executive buy-in across both of the next two sessions, and I think it's absolutely necessary, not just from CEO, but you know, business unit owners. Once again, it varies depending on the size of the organization, but look, you need air cover, and in some instances, as this image points out, you need a lot of air cover, right? Because it's going to be interesting out there. You need to define success. I think you need to stick to it. One of the funniest things I heard was be flexible, but you know, try not to knee jerk. So there's going to be things that are going to break, right? There are going to be challenges and failures. Not everybody's going to be happy, and not everything is going to work for everyone. This is a strategic versus a tactical sale, and success doesn't happen overnight. And the individuals who are driving these programs and the vendors really need to make sure that they've got that air cover.
Yep.
And to me, that's a part of educating everyone, right? It flows very, very well into the next point. And it's hard, right? Because it really is about evangelizing a value proposition. The broad organization needs to buy in. Like I said, it's not just the C-level. While you need that air cover, you need everybody to be able to buy into it. Once again, it's strategical versus tactical. Everyone needs to understand timelines and obstacles. And I think one of the keys to it, going all the way back to that zero moment of truth, Richard, is there's no choice. They have to move forward, and evangelizing a value proposition, I think, is going to be absolutely key. I mean, this affects sales, marketing, finance, operations, HR. It really touches everybody.
Absolutely. And, again, we look at our clients and it's amazing. There's the story of the cobbler's children having no shoes. People come up with really good ideas, but their failure to kind of educate everybody becomes a big stumbling block because they just don't get that comprehensive alignment behind the messaging and the value statements out there in the marketplace. And this is, an area that's relatively easy for people to fix, but it does require, some effort and work to make happen.
Yeah, I just think it's a key part of the game plan, right?
Yeah.
And the next step, really, I think that is, as you're doing this education, is to preach patience. This truly is a brave new world. It is eyes on something for the first time with massive change, right? A picture of Christopher Columbus here. I mean, I know it's a little hokey, but I mean, talk about a brave new world. They had no idea what to expect, and the change. I think the reason I pulled a Christopher Columbus here is because the change was on both sides. There was a change for Western Europe and Christopher Columbus where they were going. Man, there was a change coming for the Americas as well, and it was pretty dramatic, right? And the vendors and partners changing at the same time. Like Richard, you and I were talking about. I don't think this has ever happened before like this, has it?
No, I don't think so. I hate to say it. I've been in this industry for quite a while, and was around when we went from mainframes to PCs, and when networking became the core thing, and virtualization. I mean, it's never really happened at this scale and this quickly before.
Yeah, and this quickly and accelerating, right? So work with sales. It's pretty interesting. We talk to a lot of marketing individuals. We talk to sales individuals more and more as well today, because it's got to work together, right? I figured if Ronnie and Gorbachev can work together, come on, we can do this. From my perspective, it's a reset for everyone. I'm historically a sales guy, but I run marketing as well, and I have for quite some time. I love the blend between the two, because I think marketing has always helped sales be much smarter. And the short version of all of this is salespeople all across the board, from the vendors, salespeople and account managers, to the partners, from the partners, salespeople and execs and everybody, and how they present. It is going to be a 180 change on their value, and the buyer's journey points that out, Richard. The buyer has no patience for data points or anything coming from the sales side that isn't adding value. And since they're already 70% educated, there's affirmation and there's information. You can affirm, but boy, if you're going to give them information, it better be really good information, because they're going to digest it really fast, bounce it around through that buying channel cycle, and figure out how to come back to you pretty quickly. I just think there's going to be massive changes. I think there's going to be a lot of high pressure. I think chief revenue officers are going to be trying to figure out, once again, how to maximize this. They're going to need marketing to hit numbers like never before. I think it's great for marketers. That means there's a target on the back of marketers like never before, but that's what we want. I mean, marketing is there. We're all there to drive business, right? And so from my perspective, I just think this is a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And then work with sales some more. Obviously, sales is important. Look, if marketing isn't coming together with sales, and sales isn't working well together, and sales isn't understanding what marketing is giving them, and they're not getting that to the partners, and the partners aren't communicating that when they get on a short list, if they're on that short list because of what they've learned from a digital marketing perspective, you end up with a rocket in the ground, right? And here's the reality. There are going to be rockets in the ground. There are already rockets in the ground. I think the goal is, okay, as you said, Richard, as we learn best practices, let's try to stop avoiding that, because in a highly competitive market out there, and in a highly competitive market for partners, there are going to be vendors who figure this stuff out. And as you said, something like education, right? It's not that hard to pull together, but it's an extra step that needs to be in the plan and be taken into an account. And if we miss some of these steps, you may end up here.